So, as I said, okay, good. I was saying, functions are this specific task, right? Now, events are now what the action that is happening in that task. Now, what is the task here? The task here is that you are tasked to what? Learn about tech. The action is that you're not actually learning about the tech. You are learning front-end development, right? That's an action. Do you get it now? That's basically what functions and events are. So events are actions that happen in the browser due to the function. Do you get it now? Now, you don't have a lot of events. You have clicks, keyboard input, page loading. Those are a lot of events. And you saw me using one event the last time. Click. Meaning that whenever you click on your mouse, certain things is going to happen. Whenever you scroll on your mouse, scroll on this certain, you probably see something like that when you scroll on your particular web page. Something pops up, or there's like an overlay. Or when you click on something pops up. That's what it is all about. Do you get it now? Now, this is basically what your event is talking about. Now, I'm going to open up events, and then we're going to talk about events extensively. And we'll talk about everything also, and then we'll end the class today. Now, in our next class again, we'll now look into explaining what methods are, what DOM manipulations are. Then I'll also talk about loops, and then we'll move into building. Now, JavaScript happen in the world. It can be through various user interaction or the browser itself. When it comes again, JavaScript events are actions or operations that happen in the browser and various interactions that happens all by the browser. That's basically what your events are. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is it clear? Okay. Now that's basically what your events are. Now, I need you to note this particular block. What is happening? What is happening is that you have a function. What's the name of the function? My phone, right? Then it's image by it. Inner HTML, jigs for jigs. Now this is a function. The function changes whatever is in what. Now let me just show you what I'm saying. Like can you see my? You have a index of HTML file. Right? Let's have your index of HTML file. Now you have click me, right? And then you have, let's say you have this that says what? Paul. Let's say you have Paul, right? But I'm going to hide this. Let's see again. In here. Sorry? No. Oh, sorry. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now let's say you have what? Paul. Now my H1 is what? Paul. You have style right here. Or let me use this thing instead. Let me use CSS. Now you open we see, I think it's still loading up. Okay. Check it out now. And 4. Do you get it? Now, let's now say I don't want this 4 to show until I would click this button. Do you get it now? That 4 should not show. Now, what do I have to do here? First of all, you need to give it a function. And what is the function? The function is to show 4. Now, what is going to be the clicking of the mouse to make 4 show. You understand what event is now? Just like event. Event is the action that makes a function work. You can actually work without event. But I'm saying that event will work. We actually call a function into action. let me, if I come here to my CSS, I'm going to create CSS. I'm going to say style.css, and then I'm going to link this HTML to the CSS. So link CSS and style.css. Now I'm going to hide H1. So I'm going to say H1, and I'm going to give it a display of none to make sure that what Paul doesn't show. Now, if we check it out now, Paul is showing again. What did I just even do? Okay, so let us check it out now. We should have what Paul. This is not. I don't enjoy it when this thing is loading this way. Let me open another browser. Easy. So now I can see the Paul joins now. Let's create a function that means for Paul to show. How will it work? Now I'm doing here that I'm already going into DOM manipulation. So in our next class, that's on Monday. What I'm expecting you to do is I need you to go ahead and read on DOM manipulation with JavaScript. Please go ahead and read on this DOM manipulation with JavaScript. Read on this and understand exactly what DOM manipulation is. DOM manipulation with JavaScript. All right. So now let us move on. Now I already I hit the value of what the H1, which is Paul. Now the next thing is what create a function that makes sure that whenever this button is clicked, Paul is going to appear. So I'm going to split my screen. Then I'm going to come to my JavaScript. Now in my JavaScript, I'm going to bring this button inside of my JavaScript, right? And the click button has an ID of what? Click button. Now the same way you have DOM manipulation, I'm already using DOM manipulation right now. The same way you have DOM manipulation in CSS, the same way you have it in what? In JavaScript. In CSS, if I want to call this click button, how will I call it? Hash click button, right? I want to call a class is .btn. Now in JavaScript, it is now a little bit different, but you are still calling it. In JavaScript, you now use what we call methods. DOM methods. So what? Calling those particular words, those you can either call in the element name, you can call in the ID, that's the identity tag, or you can call in the class name. You understand it now? Now, in this place, we are going to what? Using document, we're going to use get element by ID. Good. Now, get element, what would this do? Looking at it, what would this do? It's going to what? Get that particular element by the identity name. That means it is getting this H1 by what? ID. That's what it does. Now, if I come right here and I say, let's say const btn equals to what? Equals to document dot what? Get element by ID. Sorry, get element by ID. And then what's the element name here? What's the ID name here? Click btn. Now, as you can see, I put it in a string, first of all, and I go click btn. Automatically now, this particular btn has now been stored to this value of what? Button. So I can use this btn anywhere, and then whenever I'm using this btn, what am I referring to? Button. That is how DOM manipulation works in JavaScript. Now, we will treat this better in our next class of Monday, so you understand how you manipulate your HTML elements with JavaScript. Can use button. This is this one. So this is your variable name. Remember, I said you can give anything to your variable name. So btn, I can say my btn or click btn. But again, I don't want it to be the same thing as this. Now, instead of always having to use document dot. Now, this document, don't forget that I said your HTML is a what? DOM. What does DOM stand for? Document what? So, document object model. That's what your DOM says. So Now your document object model is your what? HTML. So basically what your HTML is a what? Is a DOM. That's a document. So it's saying what? Document dot get element by ID. So the HTML, right, which is your document, dot, it is now getting one particular document in your HTML by the ID. So any element that has this ID or what, click button is going to be fetched from your HTML. Do you understand? So now if I come here and I say click BTN, automatically your DOM knows that the only thing that is known as click BTN in your index of HTML is what? This particular button that has an ID. Do you get it now? So it is getting that particular element by the ID. It's important that you understand this. Now you will get this again in our next class. Now, yes, but it's not going to get elements. It's not going to get elements by class name. That's to show you that what class name is what? Collection of elements. Just like I've been explaining. So let me show you what I'm saying. So if you want to get class name, now what we say? Get elements. Now can you see it? Get elements S plural by class name. By class name rather. Class name. When you get to React, you understand why it's using what class name. In React, your HTML class is not going to change from class to class name. But for now, like in React, if you want to define your class, you know, in normal HTML, you say class, right? But in React, it is now class name. You understand? But just focus on class now, so you understand what we mean by. Now, we've gotten the big BTN now, and then we've been able to get this particular. Yeah, we'll be able to get this. Now, what's the next thing? The next thing is now to what? Get our result also, which is this. Now, how will you get this result? Someone should please tell me. How will you get the result from HTML? How will you get this result inside of your HTML? So, get elements out. Okay. Are you sure? What exactly are you getting? What element are you getting? From where are you getting the element? From where? H1 is in which document? First of all, you need to specify. You are getting it from HTML. And for you to get it from HTML, specify document. That document will automatically like interpret. You are getting it from where? This particular HTML that I am linked to. Now, if you check here, we linked script, isn't it? Sorry. Can you see it? We linked script here, isn't it? Meaning that what? If you come here and you try to say documents, it will automatically go to the document that it is linked to and see if any particular element or ID is named what? Click button. Now, to get a result, what will you do? Document. Always specify document to show that it's what? An HTML file. We will add const. Const is just to say, I don't always want to. So for instance, if I want to, I'll show you why we have to use your variable. Now I'll show you something. So if I say documents dot what, get elements by ID, and I say what? Result. Right? Now, result, so I can now say const. Result equals. Now, anywhere you see result, just now what you are trying to access is what? This value of result here. That's variables. Now, I can now come here and I can now create my function. Now, what's my function? My function is saying that whenever I click on something, I want certain things to happen. Isn't it? That's my function. I say function, then I can say what? Show, okay, let's show result. Now, what exactly am I trying to do? I can say BTN dot what? Add event listener. Now this add event listener is my what? Add event listener. Now this add event listener is an event. Now let's talk about event more. Now, what this event listener is not going to listen to a particular event. Now if you check here now, you have a lot of events. You have click, you have close, you have composition, stats. You have a lot of them. Now, you can know everything. I don't know everything. I don't know all of this event. But you can only know everything by what? You can only know more events by researching this event yourself. Go ahead, try out other events. Okay, you can be curious. What does drag over mean? What will drag over do? You try it out. Okay, you go to Google. What will the drag over events do? That's how you understand much more of this event. Now, if you come here now and I say, try out events. Now, if you check out events, you have copy. Now, you have change. You have on mouse down. Mouse down means that whenever you move down, you have load. Whenever the page loads, something happens. Just like it's just like much more events. Now, you have on change. You have on play. You have a lot of events, right? Probably the only event that I know here, I like 10 to 10. So you can know much more than this. Do you understand? Depending on how much event you actually work with. Now, in this case, what event am I going to use? Eh? Why am I using click? Whenever I click on what? This particular button. Choice, that's why I'm going to use click. Now, if I come right here and I use click, right? That's the event, and I'm going to specify a function. Now, this function is what happens whenever this particular event is clicked. My system is still showing. Now, as you can see, function show result. BTN or add event is now. So whenever this click event happens, this function gets executed. Right? Now I can come right here now and I can say, so what do I want to happen? I want whenever we click on button, what happens? One result to show. So I can come here and I can say result dot what? Inner HTML. So inner HTML, and I can set it to what? So let's use a backticks. I can say hello. Then let's have what? Oh, sorry. Let's do something else. So let's say okay, yes, actually. So we can just say result dot inner HTML. Sorry. I'll explain that also. Oh, that's a mistake. In your CSS here, what did you set it to? None. Now you can use your JavaScript to also set it to what? Block, to make sure that what's it called? Your HTML changes from what? None to what? To a block element. What am I saying? I cannot say result dot what? Style dot display will not be equals to what? Block. Now, in your style.css here, your display is what? None, right? So let us check it out. Here it is linked. Good. All right, good. So now you have what? Result.style equals what? Block. Now, for your function to work, don't forget, always call it out. Show result. Now, what exactly is going to happen now? What's going to happen now is, no, we don't need console.log. Why? Because we want this to actually happen. Yes, but there is an error now, and the error is that this thing is showing by itself. No, it doesn't actually matter. It doesn't actually matter. It should not be working. So I don't know where my error is from. Style.css. Yes, it is linked. Result. Okay. I think my error. Good. Now we have what? None, right? Like click on this now. What happens? it works automatically. Do you understand now? So if I click on it again, can you see 4? Now let me show you what happened. In my CSS, what did I name result? None. Display of none. Now, this is to tell you that even your JavaScript can also what? Change the style of your what? Of your HTML. You can use JavaScript to also what? Style. But the only time you use JavaScript style is not the whole page. Probably you just want to change a particular CSS property or styling property of something. Whenever a particular what function happens, that is when you want to use JavaScript style. Do you understand? Except you want to stretch yourself and use JavaScript, you can go ahead. But I'm telling you when you should always use your JavaScript style. Now, for instance, I'm only using this in one function, and that is when certain things will happen. So in this place now, the color is what? Black. I can also change it to what? So I can also say result dot style dot what? Color equals to what? Red. Do you get? So now if you come here now and you check it out, you should have what? The red color. It's still loading again. Now before it finish loading, yeah. Yes. So BTN is what? Your click button, which is what? Your button. So I'm adding an event listener to the button. So whenever this button is clicked, this function should happen. Do you get it now? That's basically what your event is. Now, this is a lot to understand at the beginning. So in our next class, I will, okay, now let's show you. So if I click on this now, there's an error here. So result.style.color. Now, as you can see, it's working. 4, red. Now, but initially it was what? Black. I changed it to CSS. Now, I can alternatively, I also say result.inner HTML. Now, inner HTML, as you can see, I can also what? Change. I can even still change the word, the text that was supposed to be inside. The text that was supposed to be inside was poor, right? I can change the text to be what? I can say, hello, hello, hello there, hello there. You understand? Now I've changed it to what? With inner HTML. So I can come here and I can see. Let's come here. Now it is no longer what? 4. But initially in your HTML it is what? 4. But now it has what? Changed hello there. I can as well also what? Still create another what? Another element. So I can create a button out of it. Button. Right? So we can say button. Oh, that was a mistake. So let's create a button. Another button that says what? Click me. Right? Now, if you go ahead and you check this out, if I click this, another button came out. Now, this is basically what your multi-line string does for you. Yes. Like, what do you mean? This particular code here. I don't understand. Like, what are you asking? You're asking if I can write this here. Oh, in this place? No. You can't write your JavaScript here. You can write your JavaScript inside of HTML, but you cannot write your JavaScript inside of this place. All you can do here is add an event. You know what? I'm going to end the class here. So, okay, yeah, just a moment. I'm going to end the class here. Done a lot of things. So on Monday, we'll talk about events again. But if I talk about events, I'll talk about DOM manipulation. So you can understand how it works. Do you understand functions? Good. Now, I'm going to advise you, go ahead and finish all the exercise on functions before Monday on your on your roadmap.sh. That's the front end. Finish all the functions activities exercise. Finish it. It's an advice. It's not compulsory. But take this advice. Finish it up. If you cannot do anything, reach out to me, right? Then I'll see how I can help you. Do you understand? But if you know again, if you don't reach out, I know it's not good. So try and do it. So, okay. Now on Monday, we'll do work on events, work on drum manipulation. Then you see how all of these things combine together. Say you have a question.